I need like a crew name, you know, like Team Jacob, Team Edward type deal, but for me, for all 123 of my subscribers. What about the Silly Gooses? How's that sound? The Silly Gooses? Silly Goose Army? Yeah, probably Silly Gooses. Or what's a group of geese called? What do you call a group of geese?
According to vocabulary.com, a gaggle is a group of geese.
A gaggle, huh? I don't know, man. Gaggle kind of sounds like something you would pay a lady of the night to do to you, or a category on the on the forbidden YouTube, you know what I mean? So what's going on, my silly gaggle of geese? Today is another day of working on, you guessed it, the E30. Wow, right? If you didn't guess that one, then yeah, sad day really. So Hellcat's kind of chilling there. Bram is my dad's. Volvo, that's not getting any love anytime soon, mainly because I need a stage 0 it. Anyways, getting to the nitty gritty. So we are having a really fun problem at the track. Every time I take hard, specifically left corners, the E30 is bogging out and dying out. The car has been running flawlessly for the last couple events. I do not think it's the tune. The tune was pretty solid when I left the tuning shop. Shout out to Jason at Roll Racing. So I think it's 100% going to be one of those fuel cutoff issues because I'm taking corners. Yeah, no shit, right? So the fuel cell is in place. I did try to baffle it with pickleballs. There's I think it's PTFE pickleballs or something like that you can use as a baffle. I didn't want to use a foam because I am going to be jumping up to E85 sometime soon. The next best thing that we can do, which unfortunately I didn't know about, is going to be a surge tank. And true to the fashion of keeping this build really cheap as possible, but trying to do the best we can, boom, got it in. It's going to be a 2-liter surge tank that I got from, oh wait, wrong side, Kyostar, which is an eBay company. Surprise, surprise, right? So Kyostar surge tank holds 2 liters. It's a Bosch 044 style surge tank. Should be relatively straightforward to install, but I do have all the pieces ordered and they have arrived already. So I'm going to be installing this guy so we can stop having those fueling issues at the track. On my bucket table of Rotella 540, we have a beautiful ripoff of the Bosch 044 style fuel pump, which is going to be living inside of the surge tank, of course. I already added the AN fittings. Obviously, I'll put like E85 resistant Teflon or something along those lines. We have our bolts that we need, including our lock washers for these couple of bolts right here, rubber grommet or O-ring to hold on that pump, and our electrical connectors. So when you order this eBay kit, it comes with pretty much everything that is the surge tank itself. You are going to need to order some type of adapter, which is this guy right here. You can just look it up on Amazon and look up Bosch 044 to AN 6, 10, whatever you're going to be running 8. And if you are new here, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. This is only a pipe dream of mine to start building cars for YouTube. Of course, I build them for myself, but I enjoy the progression of seeing my cars be built. And there's a lot of content that I wish was out there, especially in regards to E30, but I haven't seen it. And I hope this is something that will lead me to, in the future, being able to buy more cars to build for YouTube and for myself. That would be a dream, to just build 850Rs just for the hell of it. Volvo 850R wagons, just to have one to build it for a YouTube channel. That would be awesome. So if you could support me in my dream, please like and subscribe. Feed the algorithm gods, do what you must. With that being said, let's get going on this surge tank. I'm thinking we're gonna use one of these bolts right here, and that's gonna be our first mounting point. Then the second point, I'll probably just have to drill and just set up a bolt right there, as long as this guy is sturdy enough. Or I'm even thinking that this bracket right here that holds the fuel cell will be able to do enough for me. So I'm just going to undo these guys and go ahead and set up my 3/8 to AN6 adapter so I can continue to use my hard lines. Here we're going to be removing these guys and moving on. As my luck would have it, it's raining right now. Beautiful sunny day. Where do the clouds come from? But I got both the AN line and the rubber line pulled out of the trunk of the E30. So what I ended up doing was these mounts right here have one bolt. This guy right here is mounted on self-tapper 10, whatever they are. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy. I initially wanted it sitting right there so you could see the Kyo star and the labeling and everything, like when you're looking at it from afar. But it's gonna interfere here with our what is that, a strut brace from side to side. So what I ended up opting for is removing both of those self-tappers, and I think I'm either gonna have it, that's probably the better idea right there, so I can have some distance from these electrical cabling, electrical line, whatever you want to call it. So I'm thinking that we're gonna go ahead and run it like this. So one bolt here, and then our other self-tapper is just gonna be drilled and going right here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pull this guy out. I'm gonna tighten up these AM fittings, set up the pump, and basically get ready to have it be adapted right here. Okay, this portion should be pretty straightforward. All it is taking our pump and slamming it, or putting it where it's supposed to go right here. Obviously with its O-ring, its coppers, its washers, everything that needs to go on it. I'm gonna put this on a time lapse. I'm gonna tighten these guys down. After I get them tightened down, I'll add this guy, which is the O-ring that sits up here, or the ring that sits up here, clamps the pump down. So let's get going on that. Okay, got it tightened down. This thing did come with 2 rubber grommets, so I added 1 grommet underneath and 1 up top here, hoping that it would sandwich this thing as much as possible, and it looks like it's going nowhere. So now that I have that, last piece of the puzzle is just to add these 2 copper washers, add my fitting up top, beautiful, add this washer, and tighten this down. I don't think I'm going to tighten it down just yet, because I do want to add my these electrical fittings first. The whole idea that I have is I do want to have these 90s. What is it, a 90 or a 180? I think it's a 180 fitting. I want to have the 180 on all 3 of my tanks. So when I install it, my lines run towards the bottom of the car, and I can kind of zip tie them together and organize them a little bit neater. And if you're just like me, 2 weeks ago and have no idea what a surge tank is and how it works, essentially the whole premise of it is that your main tank is going to be supplying fuel to your 2-liter tank, or to however big your tank is. The idea is that you're going to have a line feed fuel into this thing, and then your feed line to your engine, right? So after you have those 2 guys set up, your return line is going to come into one of your 3 ports that you have right here for your AN6 or your AN8, whatever the case is. The idea is that this guy is always going to be filled up with fuel no matter what. So even if you're drifting hard, racing hard, dragging hard, you're always going to have fuel available out of a second source. This guy should always be filled up. This is what the second line, the second pump is for. So you always have a management. So now what you're going to be doing, and this is just kind of a quick rundown, is 1 line. So let's say, for example, this guy right here, this is going to be your feed line to said to your unit right here. So your fuel cell, your main tank, whatever it is going to be getting fed through here. It's going to be flowing fuel to your engine through your feed line. It's going to be returning through one of these lines, and if this guy overflows, it's going to have 1 return line to your main tank or to your fuel cell. In this case, my fuel cell. So feed, this is going to be fuel return from the engine, and then this is going to be dump out from the secondary tank to our principal tank. When I first started my project, I had no idea how to install a PTFE line, and I don't know if you can tell right here in the crest of the ferrule, it's missing the little rubber or the plastic portion that lives inside of the PTFE hose, or your your E85 line. That plastic piece needs to sit flush around the rim of the whole ferrule, and that's what I didn't do, and that's what you need to watch out for. I cut this thing with a pair of snips just to get the car on the dyno and tuned and everything, but since I do have it out this time, we're going to go ahead and do it correctly this time. So if you're going to be doing a project like this with some braided line for PTFE E85, you are going to need a grinder. Well, I keep getting sidetracked on the project, but nothing too crazy has changed. Only thing is I made these AN6 lines, fed them on over to the tank, and that's pretty much where I ended off. Oh, right there, those bad boys. Those guys are on. We're pretty much ready to get this portion hooked up. At this point, all I have to do is get underneath, clean those extra fuel lines and OEM system stuff that I have. But other than that, she's going along pretty smooth. As you can tell by the sunlight and my haircut, what you think, guys? Home did haircut. Yes, sirski, saving money. Actually, not really. I still had to pay my stepbrother. But anyways, back on the E30, back on the surge tank. Where I left off was running these two lines. Feed and return line are set up to the tank. At this point, all I have to do is set up my, I forgot what this line is. Feed line and engine return line have to be set up. So I'll get underneath the car doing that. It should be pretty straightforward, honestly. Alright, got the end line threaded right here at our first adapter from the barb to the AN6. It's not super tight, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to the trunk. Thing that I fear at the moment is that there's gonna be a weak point somewhere in the fuel lines. For example, like the front end, where the hard line goes from the bottom all the way to the fuel rail. It's basically on a barb and one of these clamps, your regular hose clamps, and it's just tightening the hell out of it. So it's keeping up for the moment being, but since I'm gonna have two fuel pumps, I kind of fear that one of them is gonna burst or pop or just gonna give it down the line. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But yeah, this is where we're at. So I'll go ahead and pull the AN line the rest of the way out the trunk.